This was a chocolate shop that even God would envy. No one in the small town knew where the shop owner came from. With just a turn of her mysterious compass, she knew what kind of chocolate her customers needed.
The pepper triangle, that's for you. Tiny hint of chili pepper to play against the sweetness.
Vian guessed that the woman's marriage was troubled, so she gave her husband a bag of natural cacao nibs. At that moment, the woman had no idea that these chocolates would completely change her life. When she got home, the woman worked hard doing housework, but her husband was already fast asleep. Suddenly, she felt a little ridiculous, believing that a bag of chocolates could save her marriage, so she angrily threw them on the floor. Soon after, her husband woke up from his nap. He felt a little hungry, but after searching the cupboards, he couldn't find anything to eat. His eyes scanned the room and landed on the chocolates on the floor. The husband opened the bag and tried one. Finding it quite tasty, he then devoured the entire bag. Meanwhile, the woman was cleaning the bathroom, but her husband had become restless and eager, as if he had rediscovered his second youth. That night was destined to be an extraordinary one. Soon, the whole town heard about the magic of the chocolates. Even pets, catching the scent from the shop from far away, tried to push their way inside. Vian never held back on any customer. Yet strangely, no one dared to buy anything. Most people just stopped outside to gaze in. But one day, a woman snuck into the shop. Seeing no one around, she quickly grabbed a piece of chocolate, but Vian noticed her behavior immediately. Still, she didn't expose the woman. Instead, she took out another piece and offered it to her. The woman felt ashamed and guilty. She quickly fled the shop as fast as she could, but to the woman's surprise, Vian followed her all the way to her home, just to give her the chocolate. She asked the woman to help her taste the chocolate. Josephine cautiously sniffed the chocolate. The rose scent wafting from it was very enticing. She couldn't wait and popped it into her mouth. But just then, her husband's angry roar was heard. She hurriedly spat it out and immediately answered him. If her husband found out she was even a second late because of eating, she would be due for a beating. She looked like a child who had done something wrong and was afraid of getting caught. Looking at the only person who had been kind to her, Josephine told Vian a secret. The reason no one bought her chocolates was that the mayor had been spreading bad things about her behind her back, saying Vian was the embodiment of the devil, and that her chocolates were a deadly love potion. Vian finally understood. No wonder everyone kept their distance from her. Vian recalled when she first arrived in this small town. She and her daughter rented the small shop across from the church. While she was cleaning, the mayor came to see them. He invited them to attend the weekend church activities, but since Vian was born a Mayan, her beliefs were different from the townspeople's, so she politely declined the mayor's invitation. Little did she know, the mayor was extremely strict about the town's religion. He saw Vian as a heretic who had come from elsewhere. He held a grudge against her. He wanted his secretary to look into Vian's background, but the secretary didn't want to get involved, so the mayor could only secretly spread bad things about Vian. A war without gunfire had quietly begun. One morning, as soon as Vian arrived at her shop, she found Josephine waiting for her. She apologized to Vian for stealing the chocolate. She had come to pay for it, but Vian said that such a thing had never happened. Kindness, never felt before, flowed through the cold streets. Josephine also let down her guard with Vian, so she gave Vian a small golden box. She had stolen it from the church. She told Vian that her husband was like a volcano. At the slightest upset, he would explode and beat her. Yet she never had the courage to leave. But Vian said, "Your husband is not the ruler of this world. As long as you are willing, everything will get better." In the middle of the night, Vian heard urgent knocking at the door. She opened it and found Josephine standing outside. Josephine said she had finally broken free from her husband. She had tied him up while he was dead drunk. But after a moment of wild laughter, sadness came rushing back. Sometimes, gentle words are the easiest to make people cry, because they strike directly at the softest part of a person's heart. With Vian's help, Josephine began learning to make chocolate with her. What seemed like the most ordinary life to Vian was a dream that Josephine had longed for. As for her husband, embarrassed and angry, he ran straight to the mayor to complain. The mayor also felt that Josephine had disrespected marriage, so he came to Vian's shop and demanded that Josephine go home. Vian said nothing. She just lifted her hair. Upon seeing the wound on Josephine's head, he felt very sorry.
You should have come to me. Your husband will be made to repent for this.
Tell him to repent on someone else's head.
After that, the mayor took the man straight to the church. He made him confess to the priest 100 times, and learn basic manners alongside the children, until he was reformed into a gentleman. A few days later, the man dressed up nicely, holding flowers in his hand. Being a gentleman for the first time was a little awkward. He found Josephine and stammered out an apology. He said he had turned over a new leaf, and begged for her forgiveness. Josephine took the flowers and forgave her ex-husband, but she had no intention of getting back together with him. Vian told her that domestic violence is either 0 times or countless times. The cruelest wounds are often multiple, branded onto the soul like a scar. But before the night was even over, Vian's words proved true. The ex-husband smashed open the shop door, and drunkenly stormed into the chocolate shop, causing a huge scene. Vian quickly locked the bedroom door. Then they struggled to move a cabinet in front of it, but the two women still couldn't hold off a strong man. The ex-husband broke right through the bedroom door. He threw Vian to the ground, and tightly wrapped his hands around her neck. Seeing this, Josephine frantically grabbed a frying pan, and hit him hard.
Who says I can't use a skillet?
The The next day, the ex-husband was left by the roadside for everyone to see. In the end, the mayor had no choice but to take him back. But Bayan's shop still didn't get many customers. Still, some people ignored the rules. For example, Bayan's landlady. The warm and cheerful two quickly became friends. But one day, the landlady expressed a regret. She had never spent time with her own grandson because she was unruly and refused to go to a nursing home. Her daughter thought she would be a bad influence on her son, so she never let the grandson see his grandmother. With the help of Vivian, the landlady's grandson has come here. The bond between grandparents and grandchildren is always a multiplied love. Two people who missed each other started meeting every day at the shop. Because of Bayan's kind deeds, people slowly began to accept her shop. One day, a group of gypsies arrived on boats. They drifted freely with the current. They needed to rest here for a while, but because they were atheists, the mayor saw them as outsiders and forbade merchants from selling them anything. He even put up notices urging people to shun them, calling it a protection of their noble faith. But Bayan was already at odds with the mayor anyway, so she deliberately got close to these people. The landlady's daughter, as the mayor's secretary, had to go door to door distributing the boycott notices. But unexpectedly, she ran into her mother and son meeting there. Seeing there was no hiding it, the landlady said she had bribed her grandson with chocolate to see her.
Oh, how dare you, Mother!
He's happy, he's fine, look at him.
What about you? Are you fine?
The daughter forced her mother to lift her skirt in public. Her thighs were covered in needle marks from insulin. It turned out the landlady had severe diabetes, so severe that she was about to go blind. And that was why her daughter wanted her to go to a nursing home. After the daughter took her grandson away, the landlady also left in anger. On another front, Rue wanted to buy a glass of soda water, but no shop was willing to sell him any. Rue was used to this. Unexpectedly, as they passed by Bayan's shop, Bayan warmly invited them in. The two girls, close in age, quickly started playing together. Bayan brought out a plate of chocolates suited for Rue, believing he would definitely like the flavor. Rue was a little skeptical. After tasting the chocolate, he did find it quite good, but it wasn't his favorite. This was Bayan's first mistake, and it made her curious about Rue. In return, Rue helped fix the damaged doors and windows. The mayor knew all of this. He was furious that the two heretics were getting together, so he secretly revised the priest's sermon to make them look even more sinister. Soon, the townspeople were once again swayed by the rumors. They gradually became distant toward Bayan. Even her daughter came running home crying, saying she was being ostracized by her classmates. At her wit's end, Bayan went to the landlady for comfort, but the landlady didn't comfort her. Instead, she asked Bayan to help her throw a birthday party, inviting the townspeople. To break the rumors, Bayan worried that the landlady's health wouldn't hold up, but the landlady promised that after the party, she would go to the nursing home, and so Bayan began preparations. Even the grandson received an invitation. In the kitchen, there were not only spicy, fragrant prawns, but also rich, aromatic soup. But Bayan's specialty was making chocolate, crafting it into all kinds of novel shapes. When the feast was ready, many townspeople came to the party, but upon seeing Bayan and Rue, everyone froze at the table. Clearly, they were still afraid of the mayor. Only after the landlady told them that the mayor had not been invited did they finally relax and enjoy themselves. After dinner, everyone looked forward to Bayan's dessert, but Bayan said the chocolates were on the gypsies' boats. There, everyone could enjoy them to their heart's content. That night, everyone partied on the boats, and the landlady's daughter also came after hearing the news. She had never seen her son so happy. In that moment, she suddenly realized she had been wrong about her mother. But worse still, the ex-husband and the mayor also saw the scene. Seeing where the people's hearts lay, the mayor sternly said he would have to take action. The ex-husband strongly agreed. On the boat, Bayan had been busy serving everyone. Seeing this, Rue urged her to let go of everything and dance with him. And so, to romantic, soothing music, the two shared a tender dance, bringing the celebration to a perfect close. While everyone else was asleep on the boat, Bayan and the captain got into a small boat. They opened their hearts to each other, and their feelings quickly deepened. But just then, Josephine's ex-husband poured gasoline on the boats. By the time they noticed, the boat fleet was engulfed in roaring flames. When they arrived, everything was in chaos. Bayan couldn't find her daughter, so she bravely dove into the water, wanting to search the farthest boat, but Rue believed that boat was dangerous. He forcefully pulled Bayan back. Then that boat exploded violently. Just as Bayan was sinking into grief, Josephine returned with her daughter. Bayan was overjoyed. She held her daughter and sobbed. If she lost her daughter, she would truly have nothing left. That night, Bayan received two pieces of bad news. The first came from Rue, who came to say goodbye. Gypsies are wanderers by nature. Though the boats had been burned, they were just transportation. If they wanted to roam, they could leave any time. At the same time, the landlady's grandson called out grandma but got no response. He went to check on her, and found that his grandmother had already stopped breathing. At the landlady's funeral, the priest's eulogy was full of jabs at Bayan, saying that the party she organized had accelerated the landlady's death. Now Bayan had become the villain. Heartbroken, she stood alone by the lake. Just then, a north wind suddenly blew. Bayan understood that it was time for her to move on. The Maya have a tradition. Every year, they follow the north wind to migrate from one village to the next. When Josephine found out, tears fell at once. She wanted to stop Bayan. After going through so much pain, she had finally found a true friend. Now facing separation, Josephine's heart was filled with reluctance. Bayan's daughter was also tired of the nomadic life, and didn't want to leave, but Bayan insisted on going. In the struggle with her daughter, she accidentally spilled her mother's ashes on the floor. The daughter quickly scooped up the ashes with her hands and apologized. And just then, Vianne seemed to hear something. She opened the kitchen door and found all her old friends gathered there, including the landlady's daughter. They were preparing Easter activities, hoping to persuade Vianne to stay.
How do you like these omelets? Are they chopped fine enough? Are they okay, Leon?
Meanwhile, the ex-husband went to the mayor to take credit. He confessed that he was the one who burned the boat fleet. The mayor was furious. He had only wanted to solve things in a civilized manner, but the ex-husband had misunderstood, nearly killing all the townspeople on the boats. Then the mayor angrily expelled him from the town. Easter was approaching. To win back the people's hearts, the mayor directed the priest to write a passionate sermon, but when he saw through the window that even his secretary had become friends with Vianne, the mayor lost all confidence. It turned out he had secretly been in love with her all along, but had never had the courage to confess, because he still had a wife who had abandoned him 5 years ago, and the religious doctrines forbade him from remarrying. The mayor began to complain to God. He prayed devoutly every day. So why had he lost everything in the end? Suddenly, he pulled out a knife. Under the cover of night, he broke into the chocolate shop. One by one, he smashed all of Vianne's glass display cases. He grabbed the chocolates scattered on the floor and stuffed them into his mouth. The soft, rich cocoa aroma immediately filled his mouth. As his taste buds exploded, the faith he had held so tightly also completely crumbled in that moment. He began devouring the chocolates like a madman, determined to make up for all the goodness he had missed in the first half of his life. He finally understood why so many people were willing to stand up for Vianne, because this sweetness was truly irresistible. However, because he had eaten too many rum-filled chocolates, he passed out in the display window. The next day, Vianne handed him a refreshing glass of lemonade, and with that, the war was over. The mayor was thoroughly defeated, but Easter that year was especially joyful. The mayor let go of his doctrines and actively pursued his secretary, and in the end, they too found their happiness. Josephine took over her ex-husband's cafe, and business quickly began to thrive. One day, the north wind returned. Vianne took her mother's ashes and scattered them into the north wind. It drifted southward alone with her mother, taking with it Vianne's shackles, and the warm wind blowing from the south also brought Vianne good news. The wandering Rue decided to stay, anchored in Vianne's gentle harbor.
Just needing an adjustment. I hope it'll be better now.
Life is like a box of chocolates. Before you open the wrapping, you never know what you're going to get. So just enjoy the wonder of life to the fullest.